Okay, it's I don't know what time it is, but some serious implications going on here. Excuse us. Right, so it's true. I had friends staying over last night because I'm not well, and at 8:30 she emailed for me. Home Group Limited, Peterborough Area Office, United Kingdom employees are we can't believe this. We rejected an offer, a solution I came up with as well to get out of this housing disrepair. I've been left over 1 year and 3 months. And there's 2 emails actually. And this was the housing one, subject United Kingdom. The statutory law, all your human rights, your statutory law, disabled is out the window, by the way. It's your statutory law, disabled is out the window, by the way. You don't have any. Well, especially me. You don't care, okay? So it doesn't matter what you know. It is true, but I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going back to square one, 360. I've gone through, go back in my channel, see the subject on housing disrepair. Just go and check it out. The email today, 11:30, back to the first email you sent for me, was to query. The words keep changing, you see, it always does in these emails. The assumption, presumption, alright. Assumption and interpretation as well, I should say, on non-factual information again. And I've had so many occupational therapy reports and housing needs assessments all these years. That's why I left it, because there isn't anywhere else to safely live, and that's what I thought in conjunction in outcomes, and I was led to believe, and now I find out mistakenly, lied to, that disinformation as well, that is it's just their payback basically for what have I done? So it's a bit coincidental that after this failed attempt to do a safeguarding on me and using a family relative of mine and a so-called advocacy service, care advocacy service, a limited company in my area employee and a manager, I start getting all the negativity towards me, don't I? Nobody hurts me, none of my private life friends and etc. We just try to get on, try to get by in this messed up life, you know. It's those that work in these job roles that have no clue at all how they can make disabled people homeless, yeah, and have no conscience, no heart, nothing. So everyone around me is treated okay, they're able-bodied, they're out to work, and I'm singled out, disadvantaged. The thousands of others you hear about is true in the United Kingdom, especially for me anyway. So I was trying to work openly and honourably with these people, and then the second email was also to that social worker, the Hampshire County Council. The key to directors I know from years ago, and it's payback by them to me, because I won my case, what they did to me before, of the government ombudsman, it used to be known then, for what happened to me in their negligence in maladministration in public office. And so they've been waiting perhaps for years. That's all it's coming across to me as anyway, so obvious. And I've got my mate to read the emails, so I just have someone else to read it, a different friend. And it all comes across to them too. So the email excuse me, the email by this social worker was absolutely demanding. Yeah, this is a private dwelling. The definition, look it up in housing law, what a private dwelling is. Who has the authority to demand, what are the man and woman, let alone in the job capacity? They've got no authority over me, tell me what to do. They can offer a suggestion and openly work with me. You don't threat me. You don't make blackmailing threats. That's what it is. I mean, it's a harsh word, blackmail, but that's what it bloody well is. I have not denied offer services in a lawful due process at all. And I've made that clear. All I get these sarcastic comments for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't read your emails, or I can't do this, I can't do that. It's every little thing that this so-called individual healthcare professional, I mean, there's no point reporting her, because they all can stick up for each other. And I don't want to cause any, I'm not one to cause ill will at all. I'm being bombarded and harassed. I'm being bombarded with emails and texts and all when I was informed that the occupational therapy referral was the 31st of the 8th 2018, less than 6 weeks before now, that it would be a 10 to 12 week waiting list, and that will give the opportunity for this substitute care act assessment process to be complete. And it does not help that I getting ill, you know, and end up in hospital. So this has been held against me, which is really unlawful, discriminatory. And then there's all these other things behind the scenes where they change times just like that on me. It's all like to test my psychological mindset, how I react as well. And I'm always doing my best to be honourable and polite, but it comes to a point where you can only do so much. Well, now it's come to that time. Well, I've done everything that anybody can do, what in the knowledge they know. I'm realistic that I need to be somewhere else, but also this individual, on behalf of the housing company employee, slipped up in her email, didn't she? And she, because on the 31st of the 8th 2018, it was implied to me that, oh, this Home Group Limited housing, they call it, but I know they're just individuals with no experience. I mean, I've always said this for a long time. Where's the training of able-bodied people with knowledge of needs for disabled people to put into practice? And it's discrimination housing, it's constant. And there isn't, you see, any experience, from my experience as well, to date. Unless they're in, or no relative that's going what they're going through, they're just doing a job, but it's not. So all I've required, lawfully and honourably, is full disclosure, at least one copy of this repair report, claiming to be needing what I need to do in this flat, and I know what my rights are, and they're just blatantly ignoring it. Stage 2 complaint is already logged and it's already going through, and they just statute law and house ombudsman, and they know all this, and I'm not one. They're pushing the boat. They're pushing it out for me to have to go that way, not me. I'd rather not. So I've got to look at my health at the same time. They're not going to keep. They're just like pushing my buttons, big time, to see if I crack. You know. I don't crack. I just got to be careful and be healthy and safe. But I'm not going to allow another man or woman in their job capacity role to dictate to me, thank you very much, you be honourable and lawful, and I'll work with you, simple. But not to imply in another email soon after it came from a social worker in a job role, oh, The rejection of the offer of this hotel local to me that does have a level access shower, and the offer to at least offer occupational therapy assessment, claiming this was originally on the 31st of April 2018, that it's look at what I can and cannot do since I end up in hospital and the weakness on the right side and I'm transferring. That's what I was implied it was about. And I said, well, you know, I was informed too that after this Care Act assessment, Statute Law 2014 Care Act assessment, and it's detailed words lawfully, all worded lovely, but in reality it's being mistreated, where there's cutbacks and services, especially in my area. And well, it was worded that that offer were the housing company employees last year to fund a hotel and put my belongings in storage and sort out all arrangements, and I've still got all them emails and I checked it all out, and we've got all the evidence still stored, and yet this email I rejected this legit offer. Said, why don't you pay for, if it's only a week, why don't you pay for this week hotel in the corner? About £49 a night. It's cheaper than the other one they offered me, and yet this is blatantly rejected. Absolutely. There's no reason. There's no reason, because it all meets, you know, my all my needs. And if they offered me, because the email went back at 4:15 today back to housing, and it quite clearly stated this, that they already offered me this and the other last year and quoted dates and what was offered then. So what's changed now? And then it was implied strongly worded, unless I have this occupation therapy assessment, they will not do my repairs. Yeah, I'd said, well, provide the evidence in your housing policy or national statutory law as well, where it states individual disabled people have, because I thought unrelated, it could be disability facility grant issue again. And she's not, and that was mentioned in the email. She didn't mention the individual female, didn't mention about that. But this is a young individual. She tried to cold call up my home last year, November, when I was bedbound. She wasn't aware that I was disabled, can't walk, deliberately, right? Cause alarm distress. She was the one that sent an email last year to try and imply, oh, shall I contact your doctor for you? Calling my doctor, a woman I don't know, no consent, and claiming that I had difficulty getting an occupational therapist. No, I knew the procedure. At the end of December 2017, I knew exactly, informed that no, it's not a disability facility grant. They need a temporary place for me to move, and then I end up getting hospital, don't I? That's why I contacted the County Council. They claimed single point access, and then it claimed all this time on up until recently. That's what it is. The offer, the procedure, the statutory law, Care Act assessment procedure, and that element in the housing outcome, that is where it's important. You're meant to have a choice. It's all meant to be there. It's all there, black and white, so to speak, in law, statutory law as well. Well, that was denied. That was completely ignored also by the social worker. She's co-copied in the very people that back her up. It's co-copied into the chief exec, but the female that runs is paid a lot. Teresa Grant, CEO of Northamptonshire County Council, they're cutting back everything, and yet they're putting vulnerable and disabled people up themselves at major risk. And then this mentioned in the previous stream, the element on the you don't get a choice. There is no such thing as choice. in meant to be, yeah. But the way they're, carving it up, it's unbelievable. Well, it's obvious, but still, the short on 31st of April 2018, it was claimed, as I said, 10 to 12 week waiting list for occupational therapy assessment. Not one indication I would need it on my own. I was led to believe that day as well that the care advocate she did say to me she'll be able to sit in on the assessment with me, so I won't be on my own, and with strangers I don't know my own. Yet, how convenient, by the 20th of the 9th 2018, last month, that she piped up and said, oh, why don't you put the care act assessment on hold? And that was in the middle of a brief undertone came from the social worker as well, and I didn't agree to that. She was trying to make a call about a different subject altogether. I didn't consent to that, and then said to me all the funding by this county council, public sector side, care management, had stopped the funding for me to have a care advocate. Yeah, that's how they treat disabled people in my area, yeah. And you really do not give them monkeys. If your face don't fit, they don't want to know. They want to get rid of you. So all able-bodied people here that can work, those that are not able to work but they're able-bodied, don't get treated like I'm the one because of my highest care needs, yeah? I'm the only one in this, they just don't want me around here. Yeah, but I'm not going to be pushed off into a corner somewhere. It's meant to be safe, but what is safe? Even the elderly people now. So that email got copied into that social worker again to seek. They'll keep doing this to get me to react calmly. It's messed all my days up this week. I needed to get something. My friend was going to help me. And now that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days out of the week gone. It's deliberate. The breach of human rights, Article 8. Your right to privacy, right to family life, right to life. It's a breach of that as well. And they just have no conscience. As long as they make profit and at misery of lives of people in my position and others similar to me. If it was just a straightforward temporary move, it would have been done a long time ago. Would have been lawful, would have been up front, wouldn't be all this hiding behind the scenes, wouldn't be all this no offer repair reports, proof of evidence, what's required. Could have been sorted out last year. No. I end up getting ill. I'm the one that's constantly ill and living like this. And they're getting all the rent still all the time. And it says thousands of people most probably are going through a lot worse. Perhaps. I don't know. Go and check any forums, or on the social media and see people going through similar. I'm sure to goodness they are. So they want to make me homeless, yeah? Well, it's like a depopulation agenda, isn't it? In the bigger picture. Getting right spiritually, I just remind myself of my mum. Bloody loud phone on the phone. I just remind myself what my mum went through. And this guy who smashed up this main front door and block where I live, he got away with it, and he lives opposite me. He sublets his flat, and none of these people get bothered. And I'm targeted. I'm deliberately targeted. But I'm looking at in the bigger picture. That's why I've been trying to get the lawful remedy and to get full disclosure. And the last email, this trying to enforce, demand, blackmailing, words. She has no authority over me. Nobody does. Assumption, presumption, what? Just because they're in a public role? No, it's my problem. How would they like it if anyone made a demand to go in their blinking home? They won't put up with it. Nor am I. I'm trying lawfully, because that's what they said in an email. Oh, but I don't have the assessment in my home, then I will not have a Care Act, the continuance of the Care Act statute or 2014 assessment process. In that blackmail or what? Email's gone back, resent the one of yesterday's. And I'm not going to waste no more time on this, because I've got all the evidence I need. So, yeah, they're putting all the spanners in the works deliberately to mix it up into a right big mess again. I've got nowhere to move to. I've got nowhere to store my belongings. I've got no funding. And all these promises and emails is just hot air. So, put it this way, if I allowed any of these individuals without full disclosure of what is required, because they have to provide that. They're professional in the job role, they have to. You can't just come in your own and do this, do that. They have to set out what they require. But no, they want to do an assessment of your home. And that means, for people like me, oh, you can't manage to open. Well, I know the fact, I already said it in an email before. I know I need to move, and that's what I thought there's that statutory law out and the housing element is about, to help people move out. But no, today's email is absolutely making me homeless. The threat. You don't have any manual nor any authority to tell you what to do. So the blackmail was, the last email was, oh, unless you agree to these occupation therapists to come in, you will not have any Care Act assessment at all. She has got no authority to do that. So the email went back to say, right, to the CEO, and, well, it's the same people that's covering her back, basically. But it just covers me that I counterclaimed. I sought clarification, being honourable. Well, provide the document evidence and policy that I need to provide my private data, again, data protection, private data, let alone this private medical assessment, a stranger, and A, for what purposes, because nobody's provided anything for me. And then also provide the terms and conditions that offer occupational therapy. This company is Olympus Care Service Limited. And they're notorious for underhanded behaviour and the management. I know who they are. I've dealt with them before. I'm not going to have, that's why I offered a safer location. It weren't just being saying no blatantly to the offer. It was because of if it's dangerous for me to live here and all my friends struggling to care and I keep getting ill, well, you can imagine in these women's eyes, in their job role, oh my God, it's going to be an emergency displacement, and I'll be I'll be disappeared. Absolutely nowhere to go. Yeah, and they don't care that I've still got things to pay for. It takes time. I mean, who's going to help me move to save one individual? And there's nowhere to move to. There's nothing available. So back on the 31st of April 2018, it was Home Group Limited, Peterborough area, housing same employees, offering a 2-bedroom bungalow in Kettering. And that's in Northamptonshire, United Kingdom. That is not in line, and it's clear they don't know what disability reason adjustments are or helping disabled people. They've got no training experience. Because if they'd known that the statute law, locum housing benefit, you're single adult working age, you do not get offered that. There's been test cases of disabled people needing extra room for their equipment and stuff, and they've not had it. It's not been offered. And that's the United Kingdom too. It's not that long ago. And you go on Disabled People Against Cuts websites and just check in and look at these blogs and videos of people stuck in unsafe housing and stuff. So what they're doing is twisting it back on disabled, vulnerable people. Well, hold on, all this is not me. This is you're doing. And it's obvious the emails today that they're jointly working together. I did not consent. On the 31st of the 8th, 2018, this social worker said in this housing, Care Act assessment meeting, she says, in the housing needs element questions, right, it's the B something documentation. Anyway, one of them was about your housing needs and what your choice and outcomes were. And at first, you think it's all legit. And then she throws in the odd question that's not related. Then she keeps doing this, whether it's a text or an email, for months now. She keeps throwing in non-related of reference to care assessment questions. That's more related to adult safeguarding. So I blatantly again said in an email, well, have you got any concerns about my safeguarding, my well-being? If they had, they would have repaired my own, wouldn't they? But anyway, it was put to them. Well, if you're meant to have any concerns, instead of going behind my back, well, I didn't say it like that, worded it carefully. Instead of disinformation and misleading me yet again, won't be up front. But they won't, will they? They're saving grace, saving their image. So they work for the corporations, don't they? So ordinary people that unfortunate situations, no fault of their own, I'll get completely, unlawfully, by the way, quashed upon. If it was a simple thing about assessing your needs, your care needs, well, I wouldn't have an issue. Yeah, I wouldn't have that big of a concern. And it's not that. It was completely confirmed by an email today. It was not that. It was solely for the Home Group Limited. Solely, clearly for them. All along, I've been misled. How deceitful is that? You call up these public servants when you're absolutely so damn ill. You come to hospital. The single point of access number on the 3rd of 10th, 2017, and then you find out all this time on, is load of BS. They don't want to help you. You haven't got any friends or family, you're stuffed. They just want to throw away the key. It's their choice. There isn't. Illusion by this statutory law, yes, but look at it in reality. And that's why my statutory right to stay here on paperwork, so to speak, in landlord and tenant statutory law, I have a secure tenure of rights. And they have to go to the section 21 of court to get me moved. They're not going to find a judge that's just going to do it like that. Because I've got all the emails evidence I have offered. And when they just blatantly reject me of the remedy, I offered a remedy, I didn't need to. But they would have to pay for it. Well, I'm not going to. They're the one that's put me out. They're the one that's got the rent. You know, that it just disgusts me. They get all the rent and service charges, and I'm being put in danger. So this is what I mean. the OT, occupational therapist, were coming, and they're very sort of like, oh, I've got a really good job and a nice house, blah, blah, blah. And they would just look at their trained documentation and their mindset. My God, these are the words they're going to be using. I know what they're going to say. I don't say it out loud, but I know what they were doing, and I know what's behind it. And yeah, I don't give a monkeys making disabled people homeless. So ideally, that these individuals, there's quite a few of them, know full well their job will be on the line if they make me on the street in my wheelchair. That's the point. I had an email to come and service my wheelchair, but I might not even be here then, because if they want to come in next week, but at the moment, let's see what tomorrow. It's absolutely disgusting. I can't even read the emails out. I won't give out individual people's information. I'm not like that. They like it to do to me, but I'm not like that to anybody. Oh well, this happened to me before. It's not the first time, but I was able-bodied when it happened before, and I was in a temporary accommodation, and it wasn't ideal, and that's what's only available. But when you get displaced from your home, you have nowhere to go, you end up in anywhere. So yeah, so much. I already made a mind I wanted to move anyway, you know, but I would have thought it give you proper time to get support and help and properly, you know, the disabled people with wheelchair medical equipment, like, and no, they just expect you to throw. But if I had the funds, I would thinking, well, hired somebody to put my stuff in storage myself by now. I'm not. This is why they play and prey on the vulnerable all the bloody time. And this is just one part of the United Kingdom and one individual. Just how many others that are quiet and silent about this are going through it. So that's all I have to say. I might keep it short. And I mean, my mates have just got to go through my luggage somehow. I don't know about the rest of the stuff. I mean, I'm in the middle going through quite serious stuff, really. And there's no dignity, there's no goodness, there's no heart in these individuals. And it's just like robots. It's sad. I trust in my spirit energy. I've got to get through all this. So just go back in the days I was trying to get sorted this housing issue, and now it's coming to this. I'm not joking, by the way. I am joking.